So just a couple updates, or quite a few updates on the trailer actually, what's been happening. So the mounting system has been welded up and the winch has been installed for the spare tire. Tested that, works great. Welded some EMT, you can see on here, down along the sides, underneath, to run the wires through. Running wiring on a trailer is always a little tricky. You don't want it to get abraded or have problems with it. So I've run EMT on the whole trailer and just left little breaks anywhere there's going to be a light or where the trailer brakes are going to be or anything like that. So we can run, there's standard colors for backup lights and brakes and your normal trailer lights. A nice connection box like this will mount up front to make all the connections from the pigtail that goes to the vehicle back to the rest of the trailer. Hitch got bolted on, jack, has been on, actually pulled the trailer down the road for about 25 miles, put the suspension on there. Just can't say enough about the timbering stuff right off the bat. Track straight, road smooth, road great, even with 400 pounds of the frame. So looking forward to getting it all loaded up and seeing what we'll do. But you can see the majority of the trailer frame is now done. The main frame outline we boxed in around the windows. We're going to have one of the Arctic turn windows here and one on either side. Fantastic windows, you'll be able to see those, so they'll open and close to all different levels. The slide out for the kitchen will go here. We've got a queen size bed up in here. This will have a hatch that comes down here, so my wife has put the sink in here with the faucet so I can start to connect some of the plumbing things here. This will be the door to the trailer, so this is the entry here. With the two bunk beds back here, we've got a max air fan that's going up in here. And then back in here we'll have our shower and toilet. So, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so I'm a little taller, so I won't be able to stand up super straight in here. But again, this is the only area there is to move in here, so it's not like I'm going to be spending a lot of time walking around in here. So you can see, just kind of finishing out, we added some triangular bracing all over the place. We want this to be very, very rigid as we're moving down the road. We don't want things to be vibrating or shaking, anything like that. We want the suspension to take up the bumps, not the trailer frame. So again, this will be the slide out on this side for the kitchen with the refrigerator and the stove. This cabinet that my wife is building over here right now is what will house all of that. She's custom made some drawers and things that go here. So our camp stove will fit in this one. We'll flip up on the side and you'll see that as that comes together. And then she's made two custom drawers on this side and two custom drawers on that side, so that'll be part of our kitchen slide out. We've got a whole stack of 1/8" Lawan door skin plywood here that will be going on the entire outside with 3M very high bond tape. And then we'll be fiberglassing over the top. You'll see all of that as it comes along. The general floor areas that go underneath, we've taken some plywood and used some marine grade epoxy on the back side of that to waterproof it. So this will be the bottom side of these. Has this marine grade epoxy on it, so this can be in the floor of our storage areas. This is 5mm plywood. We're trying to keep a good balance on everything between strength and weight. So it's always a little bit of a tricky issue. We can obviously build things very, very strong and make them super heavy, or we can build them very light and make them very weak. And so we're trying to use the strength of the materials everywhere we can. And it's evidenced here in this motorcycle rack. So I designed this and formed this out of 16 gauge steel. And so I cut all of these holes because as I've been riding motorcycles for quite a while, the motorcycle tracks always collect water and mud and junk and just rust. And so by putting these holes in here, not only did it make this lighter, but it also gave it a place to drain. You can see supports under where the wheels go, but this is 16 gauge steel, and you can see here, extremely strong, even with 16 gauge once it gets bent up. So we cut this all, welded these up here, put a little trim tape around here so nobody hurt themselves. Motorcycle will go right up on the front here. There'll be a motorcycle up on the back. And then when the spare tire comes up, the spare tire comes up against all 7 of these members. So it just makes it nice and strong here. So here inside you can see we've kind of temporarily fitted the water tank. I'm using cardboard to protect everything from the welding sparks because I really don't want to end up with melted holes in things. So here's the 46-gallon water tank that's going in here. This is probably the single heaviest piece on the entire trailer. So, you know, water 8.2 pounds per gallon. By the time you get 46 gallons in there, you're going to be pushing 400 pounds of water. So this is very intentionally centered directly over the axle. So that whether there's 10 gallons in there or 30 or the full 46, it's keeping that weight directly centered over the axle and not changing the hitch weight. Now it did make that a little tricky as far as getting other components in here, but I think that was well worth the compromise in safety. So safety is another thing right off the bat. So anything where safety is important, I'm always going 3 to 4 times what I know will work, just so we'll never have any problems. So you can start to see how everything's going to lay out. Again, I've got cardboard protecting things. So here is where the toilet will be, obviously here, and then shower right there in front, so there will be a door there. So when you come in, little entryway up to the bed, in the bathroom right here, or one of the bunks on the back. This stuff has to be fit in here sooner than you want to most of the time. So using cardboard like this will just keep it nice, good sacrificial material, and then you don't come out later on and find there's holes in things. You can see the wheel wells that my wife has fabricated out of some galvanized material. We chose galvanized there so that it would be hold up really well as we're going down the road with different things hitting it, stones and rocks flying up in here. But you can see we've added tabs on the back side and just screwed these all in place. So if we ever needed to, those would just unscrew very easily and come out of there. Next up, we're going to be figuring out where to put any additional bracing for solar panels on the top. They certainly don't need it due to weight, but obviously when you're going down the road, the solar panels might catch a little wind, and so we want to make sure those are securely anchored. And any other thing, cabinetry, fixtures, anything that we might need a little tab here or there, this is the time to weld those things on before everything gets buttoned up. The more finished materials we get in here, the more of a mess we make when we start to weld, the more things we potentially hurt. Now there's no way we can fix everything or figure everything out ahead of time. So certainly there are going to be some times when we have to come in and protect things and weld in there. But we're trying to get everything figured out as well as possible right now.